Yeah, it definitely looks that way, as we heard on the desk. Boaster might not agree, but most of the world will see OpTic as the best buying team right now. Maybe Fnatic are a close follow-up. We're about to dive into this map, and yes, OpTic are the favorites here. They'll start on the attack, but Tom, it doesn't really seem like it matters which side they start on. They just dominate this map start to finish.
Yeah, I think over the last couple of events, the worst first half they've had is 7 rounds. So it's going to be really difficult to play up against that. And even their attacking side, you have players like Ye who are going to basically try and deny any aggression from Loud, which is mostly going to be their plan on this defensive side.
Right away, OpTic are looking for a bit of control inside of Bath. They've already put in a flash, seen nothing there. Loud definitely stacking up on this A site, looking to push through on the back of the flash, the nade to push them out of position, but they get nothing for their troubles. They'll reset completely, not wanting to overextend. And the rotations have come through. I mean, the danger here is that Les is all alone on B.
It almost looks like they're playing for delay and playing for the retake, just hoping that this push comes in through towards that A site. Orb going to be collected early, but they're already finding out so much information. I wonder if they'll have to switch things up. And actually, Quincada, he's going to get the opener.
I mean, just too many bodies here. And look at the swing from Sadik. It's not expected. OpTic running into a heavier site than they were ready for. And Marv is going to have to do something. The spike is in the open in front of him, trying to retrieve it as his teammates rush into the site and actually carve out a decent bit of map control. Good trades again from Crashies. And that man who was alone on B is now alone on the server.
Yeah, they started off so strong with the openers they got, but the trades back from OpTic leave this down to Les. A long rotation all the way back, of course, the trap offline, so he can at least bypass that piece of utility, no problems. The thing is, though, the setup is so passive, and you can see just Crashy starting to get a little bit intrigued as to whether or not he's going to come from that CT spot. For now, though, he's going to see absolutely no one.
Got his orb back as he moves towards the site. Low HP on Crashies, but that might not help. Still with a flash to play with. Marv just coming to swing on through, and Crashies is a little awkward at first, but he closes it out with his triple. OpTic have taken the pistol.
A fantastic resurgence from them. Like, just seeing the re-aggression of players like Marv being able to get them back into the round, but Crashies mainly 3 kills from him, even low on HP for a couple of them. And honestly, that's a pistol that probably should have gone the way of Loud. It was a push into the stack with 2 openers going the way of the Brazilian side, and, well, this man ends up turning it back.
You have that poison orb there right from the start for Les as well, so even when there's 4 players on the A site, there's effectively 5 in the utility you have available to you. What a fantastic result for OpTic taking the pistol. Now we see if Loud have any special plans for this round. Of course, they're coming in with pistols. Aspas, interestingly, has got the Stinger, and that's not a buy that I think I've ever seen for this kind of round.
No, the Stinger, no shields. I don't know how he's going to make this one work. Of course, on the other side of things, they have themselves full shields on every player, so it's not even like he can sort of get away with, okay, the 2-shot kill like you would on the other side. So I don't know if that was a misfire or if it's just a specific plan that he has in mind to try and do some damage.
It's definitely a curious one. And look at the pressure they're putting on B main now as OpTic. So they're coming over to Hookah, they flashed in, they put through their boombot, they see no one there, the flash reveals no one. Starting to look pretty convincingly like it's clear. They'll even commit a little bit of extra utility to it. The problem is, from Loud's perspective, they have already read that this is a fake. Whether OpTic commit to A now or not
look at
is
Crashies.
up for question.
That's the thing. I feel like he's getting far enough that they may just opt to switch things back, and you can see the spike starting to go in that direction as well. This fake is being sold, and eventually the players are just going to run straight back through the TP. Good fake out from OpTic, because the running back in towards those latter stages still had its risks about it, but the fact that they managed to just sell a little bit of a fake, all the players are going to stick around. The only danger is actually Marv. He could lose his gun.
Yeah, they know this. That's why they made the push they did, so quickly reacting around middle. He's only got 20 HP. A right click, enough to take him down.
Okay.
The Stinger is the one to find the frag, but Marv has made up for it. They'll go looking for this Bulldog. This is a valuable weapon, and you don't want Aspas to have it. With it removed, this round, I think, altogether can be looked at as a success.
Oh, a massive one. Especially the ult you want to be charging up is going to be that orbital strike. So Marv is now only 1 away. There's so many aspects of this map where that can be just incredibly valuable for them. So that's a worry. I wouldn't be surprised to see OpTic challenge the orb early in this round.
That's actually so sad. 42% of Loud's international matches against OpTic, and you know, it's OpTic that beat them every single time. That's why they haven't had a chance to play even more international games, because OpTic keep on knocking them out. They won it way, way back. And ever since then, it's just been a dominant North American result time and time again. Round number 3, OpTic have got one rifle bought up on Marv. Everyone else has kept their weapons from the previous.
He's already got the orb.
That's the thing.
And this gives them so many opportunities in terms of executes. Now, you can already witness the fact that Loud have started to move players out of lamps. Just basically making that, that's one of the most obvious spots for them to try and clear. The other is normally the back of the B site, which seems to be the more direct call at the moment, because you can sort of section everything else off with utility, clear some of the close cubby corners, but that back site is always a difficult place to fight from. If they can clear that for free, it becomes incredibly easy for OpTic to take this site.
I think Sassy might have tried to bait out the ult as well by putting that Prowler from so far back. You're not really going to get much information from that unless they decide to shoot it. But maybe they think you're in there and then come after you. Surviving on the back side. Decent holdout from Les. All his shields stripped and his health very low at this point. And he's got no support. With his teammates smoked out, he's just going to concede the site. This is the right call.
They managed to hold on to Hookah though. Sanak has almost managed to do that alone, aggressively pushing towards Marv just to make sure that he can't really use that ultimate or even try and bait him into using it. It also gives them a much freer rotation, although that flash hasn't gone to plan.
Not exactly, no. A little bump in the road. Plan secured for OpTic, able to play post-plant. Orbital strike online, but well, the numbers are thinning out. There's the orbital strike used. They're not quite able to damage the players on the way back out. Resetting into duels. It's Pancada, Aspis, Sassy. They've got the numbers to take this, but in dangerous positions. The dropout handled by Aspis. A double for him, the nade catching the first. The rifle for the second. They will end up in a very good position, especially with post-plant orbital strike.
Yeah.
This round was looking a lot more scary than it ended up being.
But that's the thing. I feel like you could look at the scoreboard right now and you might be thinking, okay, Sadak not having the greatest of games, but in all honesty, the space he managed to take basically won them that round. Like, he pushes onto the brim to make sure that he can't have that position he wants for the orbital strike to try and clear the site or for after plant. He then holds onto it as well, forcing them to go all the way back around and fight through one avenue. And even on the way back through, even though he goes down, he makes sure that his teammates are still safe within that angle, not being pressured from anywhere else. So great work from him. Of course, there is still going to be a purchase. And you can see Marv may only have a pistol, but that's because, yeah, he's got an operator.
That's the thing, right? And obviously he bought up the rifle previous round. They tried to bolster their buy that little bit extra. You'll take those, and you'll certainly take those. The operator for Ye dropping Pancada off the rip, and well, Marv has got a weapon should he wish to take it. Although I think the focus is a little bit more on taking the site. You've got those Seekers available, and, well, if they pop them, they'll find only Sassy here.
That's the thing. It will be so much valuable information. I think they're looking to try and get that little bit closer first on towards long, and the adaptation from Loud is just to have deeper control.
It's beautiful.
The problem is, there goes that info. Just one going in that direction, clearing out the back of the site for free, and actually Sassy, he's going to get one through the edge of the smoke. This lurk play could be huge from FNS, but he goes down as well.
A perfect haunt through, a good kill, and now Loud. Oh, they've got themselves another potential retake. Same position they found value in before.
What?
He tanks though. Oh, that's insane. The boom bot does damage, but not enough to kill. Les is alone, and even with a beautiful dropout, yeah, he has found value in a position that he was dead to rights.
That's the thing. I don't know how this man gets so much value with that headhunter. Like, him and Ardis just seem to have this ability to just destroy players even after that operator doesn't become any more valuable. And he basically just waits for that boom bot to connect onto him, and Sadak goes down as well. Again, we see the value of this superstar chamber, and unfortunately on the other side of things, Loud, okay, they've got a couple of ults to play with. Maybe they can try and do something with the Viper's Pit, but the buy sucks.
I never, ever thought that was going to go his way. He was at 15 HP, and there must have been, he was like Neo in the Matrix. Bullets whizzing past him, but calm, cool, collected. Really push up inside of showers. Now, they're going to try to take the space, but Aspis has declined because he pushed around the smoke. I think he wanted to exec out of it. They could have put, I mean, they don't have flashes over here, right? Maybe a sky flash through the TP, something like that. But they have completely canceled any sort of aggressive plays. And again, we see this Prowler going out on mid from very far back. It almost makes me think they're clearing that the player hasn't crept up close. So that just shows you how much control Loud have given up for that early fight that got them nothing.
Well, yeah, it's something that Finesse loves to do, is just those slow lurks through mid. And with the aggression on the other side, just trying to get a little bit of information off the back of those initiators. That's gone very poorly for Les. They know exactly where he is, and sure, he's going to do a little bit of damage as they make their way through, but this is looking calm and collected so far for OpTic, and there's nobody even within the site anymore.
I do like the idea as well for Ye using his ultimate in this round. Nobody can pick up a weapon if they kill him, so you can see him playing a much more heavy lurk role.
They also lost the op. They didn't manage to save it last round, so it's just almost a freebie.
Yeah, but of course he could go for a rifle, something like that, and save that ult for a more important round where your opponents have better weapons. But I like the call, really minimizing how much they can pick up, and now he can recover the weapon from his teammate Finesse, probably not wanting to carry the stinger he had picked up through. And 4-1, this is looking as dominant as I think we expected. This map is a specialty for OpTic, and with the pistol under their belt, you have to expect this early lead to go their way.
Yeah, they've beaten easily some of the best teams in the world at this map. PaperX, FPX, we saw them beat Liquid earlier, Boom early in the tournament as well, Xset. Like, they have proven themselves as top 2. I'll say that just for boast.
There you go.
He is in the room. Oh, we got Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Tom Holland in the audience, of course. Very big Valorant fans.
As we know. So, all these ultimates online for Loud, one away on Sassy, everyone else has theirs. Viper's Pit. Now, when you look at OpTic, I'm really curious to see how they deal with this pit. They've got a ton of utility that could grab them the information, but it looks like they don't want to challenge inside of it. No surprise there. Instead, they're going through the only other angle on this site, a choke point that is now being held constantly.
Needs to do well here. He has to. Now, the Tiger's going to give him the information. If they break this and just look to try and pressure him, it could become quite awkward, but instead, they do have the orb to try and slow them down, making sure any of these close angles, and look at the rotation, because they've taken deep hookah control straight away. They're looking to stack this A site up with 4 players. The problem is, OpTic, after showing so much info on that side of the map, and now making a move all the way around. And
a good job, too. You just saw the Seize nade land. It would have been at their feet had it have come in 10, 15 seconds earlier.
Loud
but OpTic
got the read.
Shifting it over. They're adapting to the information that they've read, and now Loud are doing exactly the same. At the pace of this round for both teams, they're trying to figure out where the other one is at. But with Loud having this control, it's Pancada. He has his ultimate to play with. If he keeps hookah, this site will be very difficult for OpTic to get into, and he's already shut down Marv. That's the control, theirs, and even a showstopper through. I mean, this looks like a death sentence for OpTic. 15 seconds, 3 players on the site, and absolutely no way in.
10 seconds left.
Might just be worth holding on to the guns, and well, Les isn't going to allow that for Finesse at least. On the other side of things, Loud want to try and keep this as a boost to their economy, so probably not going to hunt down too much, knowing that there's a high likelihood that no matter what happens, OpTic are going to be able to buy. But I am liking the sort of re-aggression and rotations we're starting to see from Loud. It hasn't worked in every single round because I feel like it is almost that battle of the brains, the IGLs sort of try and pick their route back through, but this time they get it correct. And I actually want to see OpTic challenge a little bit more for that hookah control, because I think that's where the crux of the matter is you've had now in one round Sadak deep within that control, being able to help them as they try and push into the site, and then in this round the exact same thing from Pancada again.
Or you'll see from some teams like playing inside of hookah, and then when they fall out, it's difficulty to get that player out of position. But you've had the retake wall in that previous round as well on B site from Vipers. So you're playing inside of hookah, you get your fight, you fall back, and now the wall's up. So even the guys on long can't cover you crossing over. They've got to push through a Viper wall, and it just adds so much more pressure to OpTic. That stopping power of a man and a Viper wall worked perfectly in, well, a showstopper as well. I mean, you can't really downplay that one, but we end up at 4-2. Loud, decently bought. OpTic, though, they've drained the entire ult economy out of Loud in that previous round. They only have the orbital strike to work with now, and with a showstopper of their own to try an entry, hookah seems like a great place to have some control of. Again, it is only the one man that's leaning towards there, though, being Marved. He didn't do too well on the—
Oh, what? Okay, Pancada. Just a little bit of spam, predicting that they'd taken log control, and well, I don't think you're going to get many kills like that throughout the match. They've also found out that Ye is on this side as well. And there is no commitment to the rest of the map for OpTic, so I feel like they're almost stuck in a spot where either they take a huge risk and try and run back towards the A site, or they continue to commit, and they're going to try and go back and clear everything along the way.
Trailblazer just came through, though, and it didn't actually spot many players. If anything, I think it saw them and heard them running away. They're going to try to retake that control, and they've gotten one, but they have to account for the player up close. That Trailblazer was fired out by somebody. Sadak is still around the area. He's making his way through hookah. With 10 seconds left, if they can get an angle to stop it, it could be everything. And now they own hookah, a foothold to get back in, and holding over control of elbow. This is difficult now. OpTic are split completely. FNS, I mean, he's alone. Victor's just been wall banged to death. A snake bite making it so much easier, and Finesse has to do it all time. Not really on his side with 3 players to take down, and Pancada has just had another fantastic round. This guy's been on fire so far.
Yeah, he's having a great tournament in general. Like, we've seen that throughout, where I think he's been like trading places for top 1, top 2 controllers. I think a few rougher games as well in there for Marved, but definitely towards the latter stages of the tournament, he's been great. But again, like it seemed like it was just going swimmingly, but just this reset coming out from OpTic, falling all the way back and then going back into the site. The execution was great, but Pancada just able to hold on to some of the most critical angles as they look for that retake through Hookah, and it just works out wonderfully for them.
I mean, it really is getting to the point, though, where OpTic have got to be realizing that Hookah control, they've found it so hard to gain control of it, and even in the previous, to hold control of it.
Yeah.
That part of the map seems to be Loud's, and well, the response from OpTic isn't a heavier presence there, more aggression early round. Instead, they look again towards this A site, where Viper utility has constantly been a problem, but this time, Viper's on B, so maybe a slightly easier way back through.
Yeah, already though. Molotov gonna delay. It's gonna have to be the rotation back through mid, because they currently don't have control over the showers. Mainly because there's still smokes denying them that space. The defense almost just waiting around the outside, but they are going to be able to make their way through. The problem is there could be an easy spam to try and deny anything for this plant, and actually they're going to do it instead with the blast packs.
Oh, wow. A double for OpTic, though. They punished completely. And with this sneaky position, even able to creep his way into heaven if he wanted. Oh. There is a constant doubt in the back of Loud's mind. They need to find a safe spot to fight from, and I simply put, there were none. They need a duel right here and now. Time is ticking away with weaker weapons on the side of OpTic, but a pit to play inside of. The spike down inside of it, there's not a whole lot that you can see going their way.
Oh.
Control's already too much for OpTic, and they close this one out beautifully, only leaving less. 1 versus 3, and the players remaining on OpTic have upgraded. They're back up to 3 rifles. They've got time, they've got utility, still the pit up. It's done. Les is out of here, and a 5th has been found for OpTic.
I'll be honest, I think OpTic were almost expecting that this would be a round where, okay, let's see how far we can get. Maybe we use the Viper's Pit. Don't want to commit too much this round. I don't even think they full bought. They still had enough to buy into the next one.
Step by step.
It's just the fact that they got so much space into middle for free. And that's the more surprising thing, like just making that move fairly early, almost disrespecting a lot of the utility on the other side after they initially again tried to challenge in towards the showers. And then I was also surprised that the pit wasn't one that actually allowed them to cross. But because there was no one watching that cross, they were able to just get that plant for free. Yep,
of course, you have the pit, you have the wall up to get you into that position in the first place. From the perspective of Loud, you're up against a completely weak buy. You know there's going to be some serious weaknesses in there. It makes sense to concede a small bit of control, but once that pit goes down and gives you the ability to play into their spawn, they have to freeze. The guy in spawn is no longer coming to help his teammates. He's staring at a pit, waiting for someone to emerge from it with a weaker weapon. Such a thorn in the side of Loud really being able to structure any form of retake. They'll call a timeout here, and as it comes to an end, we're going to need to see some big step-ups across the board. I mean, they've been doing a great job of holding on to Hookah, but anywhere else OpTic seem to go, they're free, have free reign.
Yeah, they've been really pushing on the extremities. I think we have seen a round or two where Loud have sort of challenged in towards the showers, but other than that, yeah, I would love to see them try and take Long B away. The problem is most of the time you're going to have to face an entry duel versus Ye. And that's something we've seen many. I remember Demasic trying to do that a couple of times in their game, and eventually his head gets blown off, so probably not worth the risk. Ult-wise, it's actually fairly bare, but Marved, we haven't seen him use it too proactively. Maybe expecting to try and use it in afterplant scenarios, but in all honesty, once they have got into the afterplant, it looked pretty deadly.
Again, this Molly going over. We've seen different lineups coming through. One from short, this one right at the start of the round, catching anybody going back towards elbow. OpTic are slow to move on the back of it, but a flash coming through, blinds them up, gets an orb online. Crashies now has his ult, and the Seekers, well, they seem to be soon on their way. Marved has lost this duel almost every time, and now he's being spotted, tagged up, and taken down. Another fantastic hold of Hookah, but how goes the sight? Because Crashies is already on there, spike in hand. towards the elbow. The smoke not fully blocking them out. There could be an opportunity here, especially with the nade online.
And just gonna have to try and play this one safe. Finesse in a decent position, but he's not gonna find anything again. Hookah control just being the bane of their existence, and look how passively Les is holding. He's just playing this one nice and patient. This duel is gonna be everything, and he's gonna win it. It leaves Krasius alone. A man you'd want in these sort of scenarios, but can he pull off the 1v3?
He's been the clutch player in the past, but his HP already at half. 3 players, and it's the first to take him down. Les on the Viper, grabbing a 4th round here for Loud. And again, that hookah control, it's always been something in this game that Loud have based the round off of. And we've seen that Trailblazer come through the TP a number of times. So far, though, I don't think it had any impact bar that round. It was like information that at times OpTic even used against Loud in trying to sell false information. This time, though, it directly contributed to the kill.
I am surprised, because I guess it's because they've so easily been able to get into the B site without too many problems. But in every single retake, they have struggled with the fact that they haven't been able to hold on to that control. So I do wonder if eventually Finesse is just going to say enough is enough, and they're just going to try and blitz their way through. And there are a few players setting up in that direction early in this round.
Again, this utility comes through, wall up, orb up. Whether you send someone with it or not, it doesn't really matter. It's about taking the info out of their hands. Again, we lose a player over towards Hookah. They try to double up and take it together, but Aspas is holding strong. They know for sure that Marvs is here. It's gonna have to get those Crocs into sport mode again if they're going back towards the A site. Finesse has got a lot of space for them, but now a kill on B, and it kind of goes up in the air. They have a ton of options on where they take it, and in fact, they might almost just slow it down. See if Finesse can find anything from this spot.
They have to be aware of the potential of him doing this. Like, they were trying to deny this in earlier rounds, and setting it just straight away, like, okay, let's just use C, because we'll find out where these players are going to be, and they've spotted that they're rotating through. Even having Les go back around just to make sure that they can't wrap through lamps, and just holding to make sure they have this crossfire. The only real danger is going to be Ye on the other side.
Seeger dove on Finesse. Caused a bit of a headache. Look at the push coming up from behind. Fantastic stuff from Ye. A great lurk, space taken, and he's gone. He's down, the cover no longer there. They'll TP, they'll rotate, but Aspas has kept the control! Aspas alone wins this round for Loud. 4 kills. That is a round that Loud will be thrilled to have under their belt. OpTic even calling a timeout off the back of it.
Yeah, as said, like in the games that we've seen from them in the last couple of events, they've been able to take 7 rounds as a minimum in the first half. It didn't matter whether they started on defense or attack. They've always looked incredible on this map, but Loud, you know, they're rolling with the punches at the moment. And the thing is, they are adapting well. They are using that control they're able to get to take deeper positions. They're also using their ultimates incredibly well just to make sure they have that information. That's another round again where I'm looking at Sadak. Again, still at the bottom of the board, but he's able to find a crucial piece of information at the crucial time to make sure that they're not just going to be caught out by that lurk through from Finesse.
We're seeing that same energy from Loud that we saw when they had their huddle over on the stage, erupting as they take that round, and that really puts the win in your sails. I mean, it's one thing to win an important round and so on, but for one player like Aspas, you get in the right position, that puts the morale up to new levels. Now, OpTic are pretty good no matter which side they're on. I don't expect an easy second half by any stretch of the imagination, but Loud have put up one hell of a fight so far.
But the other thing as well, to go back to the sort of talk about Aspas, I think this player in terms of like ACS, like you look to basically at the whole Loud team, there's like 20-30 difference between the entirety of the team. He is the X factor. When we've seen them have these super incredible runs at tournaments, normally he is right at the top of the helm. So if he can have a good matchup here, as it was mentioned on the desk, he normally does, that could be the difference between them making it through to the final or having to fight through that lower bracket.
Let's play.
A fantastic face to Loud so far. Tied up at 5-5, the advantage still to be played for at halftime. Now, Loud have stacked up on B long. This is control you said you wanted to see them take, and so far, as we said, they've held Hookah flawlessly every round. After an OpTic timeout, though, they shift their play completely.
They sent Ye. That's how you know they're taking things seriously. They sent El Diablo to clear it out, and this time, there's absolutely no one there. It's a complete role reversal. Maybe that's what Loud were actually expecting. Like, okay, we've had this control, they've had that control, let's try and switch it up. The only problem is it allows this tour de force to just run riot. If anybody peeks anywhere near this angle, they're in danger, and he's actually waiting to hold the rotations.
Yeah, I think if you consider Hookah's being the danger place, you've got an orbital strike coming in here, you've got a timeout just called, like they're gonna have an idea of how to take that back. Great adaptation from Loud, but now we've got to see how they handle not having this control. And for a second, I thought Static was about to jump up in there to check it, which I would have lost my mind. You got 2 info characters there. He dodged the flash. Oh, that could have been awkward if someone tried to swing with it. Luckily, they didn't. Oh, God. Victor's being destroyed. The showstopper online. It's, well, oh, wait. He's got 2. Not a chance he even got 1 there. I thought they're looking at him, but Finesse coming ahead. This is the round we needed to see from this guy. He's had a tough half so far, but we've equalized it up. 3v3, spike planted, post plans to be played with Yay pressure from both sides. Another flash coming in, and Marv can't see a damn thing, but Finesse again! The 3rd kill of the round! He's going absolutely nuclear! What is that round from Finesse? This man came into this half. I didn't even think he had his monitor on, and now he's pulling out that. Wow.
Yeah, that's another. We've seen a couple of those already throughout this map where it's a 3v5 for OpTic to try and turn around. Gets the double spray down. The flashes in utility that were coming out, we saw Yay stuck in a seize, flashed up, and then Finesse just saves his life with a crazy peek, and then even catches the player behind him as well.
He had 1 kill.
He did?
He had 1 kill. He just coming into round 11.
That was Daddy's round. That's all we got to say.
He times 5 this kills. Wow.
He's, well, Lesser just managed to get
Viper's
Pit. Oh, he's just about gonna make it out of there. He's getting healed up as well, and they're gonna use the Viper's Pit as cover. Crashy's hoping maybe he can find something off the back of it, and actually that flash sort of faked out a rotation. You can see Sassy now moving all the way back, and the timing could be wonderful for OpTic.
Yeah, it's because they had to fall back to get that heal, right? You don't want to stand inside the pit and a stray bullet takes you down while you're healing your guys, so they go back to elbow. They have to use a Trailblazer to confirm nobody was pushing up on it, about to take the control, and that then leaves them in this spot where A is almost like a retake, but still holding on to that crucial position of Showers. The rotation this time a little more cautious, making sure there's no one around them, but that might even play out as the fake, or a disengage from an impending Doom duel. Instead, they reset, and with 45 seconds left on the clock, they need to make a decision on where to go, but they haven't really found a foothold anywhere.
Flash through. Crashies knowing that they still have control in this direction, and OpTic, they've tried to play with the rotations, but ultimately they failed. This fight could be everything, and Sassy just about able to deny it. Also Pancada getting a couple of kills and doing so well off the back of his ultimate. It leaves it all on to Crashies. 20 seconds left. Chances looking impossible. The fact is he's got a rotation coming in from behind. He's going to get the TP timing almost perfect, though. That should at least allow him a plant, and maybe even the Seekers as well.
Yeah, he's got to be quick. If they got anywhere near this site, if a player had rotated 2 seconds earlier, it could be done. Well, indeed, it will be anyways. Loud tying it up at the halftime. This is a map that OpTic are hailed as the kings of the world on, but Loud are challenging for that crown in the first half.
Well, they are incredible on that defensive side as well, so I don't think it's going to get any easier for the Brazilians, but let's see what the Des thought of that first half.
Thank you very much, Mitch and Tom. It wasn't looking the best for Loud in the beginning, but maybe what a recovery towards the end there.
Yeah, Loud really came back. I think their game plan was being shut down in the first part of that game, but the recovery to make things even. And a big part of that was Auspice and his kind of step up on the Raze thus far in this map. This guy had a priority to hold space in Hookah. He did a very good job at it, but just on the other side, the guy we've been building up so much throughout this tournament, Yay was looking fantastic, as he practically always does, providing a lot of value on that attacking side, be it with the op or with the rifle.
Yeah, and but in the beginning though, Boso, it wasn't looking great for Loud.
No, especially this round. Even though they won it, I felt they gave OpTic way too much control of Showers at the start, and then they had this idea of Hookah crunching, but it all relies on this Les guy staying alive and being able to kind of contain the elbow push. Fortunately, he gets to 2-0 this round. However, in the next round and the round after that, they gave him way too much space. Viper ultis were going out, Raze ultis had so much space, and it was kind of really looking squeaky bum time for Loud there, but they managed to pull it through with their strong side, weak side. Strong side's getting that information with the Sky or the Fade, and getting those rotations in.
It was just interesting in general, though, because they came with such a different plan from what you would expect. And it was Aspas a lot diving through that teleporter to get the retakes going in such an aggressive manner. And to me, I'm looking at Aspas on the other side of things as well. Look at, this is where Aspas gets his kills on the attack side against Zeta Division earlier in the tournament. You can't get those kills on B without double satcheling into a site. Those are not kills where you're just picking off players peeking from hookah. He's going to be satcheling in so deep. And in order to even set that up, you need to have already pushed Ye away. You're not just given hookah and B-long for free to go for big execs against a team as good as OpTic. So it's so important that they push that star player off the line.
I think as we look ahead to the tap, the priority will really be on those two initiators to be able to shut down Ye, move him away, and give Aspas those moments.
Yeah, especially that. Well, actually, that was what I was going to say. So you're a genius here.
Whoa, you heard it
Here we
here first.
go.
Mimi is a genius. I'm going to pass this over to two people. I don't know. Are they geniuses, Mitch and Tom?
Maybe.
I won't take that one, Tom. You know,
Bose has never called me a genius.
yeah. I mean, I'd like that, but it is what it is. 6-6.
I miss Benkai. He was nice.
He was really nice. Well, he was nice to me. He kidnapped you that one time. But
Yeah, no, forgive and forget, you know?
Oh,
Forgive and forget.
That's very nice, Tom. Very nice of you. OpTic have a 14-3 record coming in here. I mean, look, we've talked about it time and time again. We've mentioned the teams they've beaten even at this tournament and in recent memory. Some of the best in the world. Absolutely. Moving in towards the B site quickly. Utility, look how much is coming their way. These players are stunned up and soon to be gunned up, but the Viper Wall, the TPs, have changed Cloud's
They're
mind.
running all the way back. They basically have to. There's already 4 players on the other side, but the thing is, the 5th player they've left behind is the one you least want to run into. Ye, in an elevated angle, he gets to freebie onto the planter. It's not an angle you'd normally clear, but the fact is he's just delayed them so much. Even with a single kill, they've had to completely reset the plant, and the trades are going again in OpTic's favor, or at least they were. Les has managed to turn it back! Oh, what a couple of headshots out from him! A pistol for Loud, but I don't know if they should have won that.
I don't think they should have. What a fantastic setup from OpTic. They've got their TP back. Ye delays, gets a kill, gets out for free. When he dies, he's traded ×2. And Les, he was just tapping away all round. Ending on 28 HP, had a teammate as well to back him up. That's a pistol for Loud, answering back to OpTic's opening to the map. And that could give them the injection of rounds they need to get off to a flying start. OpTic have not decided to go for a force buy. They're playing 5 classics. I suppose they're playing a headhunter on Ye, which with 4 bullets could get close. Luckily, the first doesn't land.
You know, he's only got 3 left.
You only kill half your team.
Yeah, exactly. It's not so worrying anymore. And actually, the entire team is rotating away from Ye, which I completely agree with as a sentiment. I think as though the delay that Crashies has been able to pull off actually allows the full team to rotate in towards this B site. They've left Ye behind to play solo. But if this isn't cleared properly, this could actually get pretty dangerous for Loud.
I'll say we don't have Aspas in hookah, so he's not going to be like satcheling in, doing this crazy play, at least you'd imagine. Nade and Snake Bite not landing for damage or kills, and they'll pump the brakes, but 50 seconds, stacked up classics, limited time to make a decision. This is a scary spot to be in. Look, classics on their own, you should be able to take them down, but when they have these crossfires, 4 players able to, 3 players able to swing at any time, that causes problems. The flash was good, the follow-up not there, with Sassy eliminating everyone on the B site. It's left in the hands of Ye.
Unfortunately, Marv was just a little too thick. That's all it really was. He had the extra C and he was spotted from behind. He's actually just headshot him through the wall. He's got no headhunter bullets left. It's fine. Thankfully, he used a few of them earlier, and that made it less dangerous. Only a single player lost. Now going to be retrieving the extra weaponry, and actually quite a heavy purchase into that previous round for Loud. So it's good that they don't lose anyone. Also, the fact that Les already has a Viper's Pit online, one of the most deadly ultimates you can have going into a bonus round, because that Spectre very quickly becomes very dangerous.
Viper's Pit, when you have the Stinger Inspectors as well. I mean, Les has gone for the Vandal, which, when we're talking about playing inside a pit, probably not the best weapon to have. Those Tracers can give you away. OpTic's early plan, the flash down long confirms players here, destroy some utility, try to deny that free control they could be getting if these Prowlers went uncontested. But those smokes are coming down, and it looks like Loud are picking up the pace completely. They are rushing in, at least that's how it appeared. Losing out on any hookah control might change their mind a little bit.
I think also just the spam, just not allowing them to get through that choke point too quickly. Counter nade out. Oh, on the cross, actually, a shot connected by Pancada, but it's at the expense of Aspas. And they're still just trapped towards this position. Also, the deep hold that's there from Ye on the other side means they don't need to rotate. And Victor, double headshot. He's now looking to try and ace this out. Could even get the ult online if he manages to find that final man. And while the crowd wants him to go for this, although it seems he might get beaten to the punch. Never mind.
The chance is still on. The ace could be his. It's a 3v1 though. This isn't a moment for bravado. Close the round out any way you can.
Oh.
And it's with Victor on the floor.
The thing is, that's not bad from Pancada. He was in a horrible scenario, ends up taking 3 kills. He's going to get ever closer to having his orbital strike online, which is now only 1 away. They're coming in with a purchase on the other side, and okay, sure, you've got the showstopper, but there's not a lot that's actually going to help them out economically.
Very true. Yeah, look, the losses here will definitely be felt, those ripples coming into the next few rounds, and ultimately, you're playing up against weaker weapons, so altogether, yes, they've recovered that nicely in the final seconds. That's why you don't see one guy running down to try get the ace. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to play for the team, play for the win. 1 round between them and OpTic. Well, I see Finesse he's gone for a different weapon. It's not quite the rifle. And the Prowler has gone right past him.
Oh, no.
The judge.
Oh, he might have actually spotted him, and he's still going to get the kill. The judge giveth and the judge taketh away. That has gone as badly as it could have. Okay, Aspas is going to be a little low, but they should be able to get him healed up. Unfortunately, Sadak is on the other side of the map, and Crashy's going to go re-aggressive, but he loses the fight as well.
This man, if he stood a pixel or 2 further forward, that judge would have taken him down. And instead, he's ended up with 2 kills. A fantastic game Aspas is playing here today. Now the advantage for Loud. Let's see how they can close it out, or if OpTic have got something up their sleeve. 3-man stacked up on A, hoping the rotation comes through. But Tom, we can see that spike and the rest of the team gravitating towards the B site. Looks like they might have a pretty easy time.
Heal up, squad.
It seems like they've basically committed to either just fighting this on the A side or maybe saving the weapons. The deep push is probably going to tell OpTic a little bit late that
30 seconds left.
this is going to be a B play. For Loud, this is such a huge opportunity in this second half. Already looking to get up to 9 rounds, and as I said, I don't expect the OpTic players to even rotate here. It's just not worth throwing the weapons away.
Yeah, it really is. Just too much of an investment already taking place. And, you know, Ye is getting decently close to his ulti. If there was a possibility that he could come out of this with a kill, that would be huge, but probably not worth even losing the weapon for. Whether he gets a choice or not is a different thing.
He looks like he disagrees, because he is pushing quite far forward, especially in comparison to the rest of the team. I guess, as you said, 1 kill and a death is actually an upgrade for Ye.
1 kill and survive, even better.
True.
If he gets an orb, he can drop his teammate a weapon, and all of a sudden, it's a full buy. You've got a showstopper there, and you've got Ye with a tour de force, which at this point, well, he's either going to have that Vandal, or he's going to have his ult next round. You probably just want him to survive. Make it a little harder so he doesn't have that ulti right off the bat. And we saw there, Aspas, 2 kills. The only 2 kills that came into play before that spike went down, Crashies and Finesse both taken down, and then he's healed to 100 HP and doing exactly what Sideshow was mentioning on the desk, blast packing out, taking the space, putting his life on the line for his teammates. I mean, the value that he has brought in the first half was tangible. Here, I think it goes even beyond what we see on our screens. I mean, this guy is the tip of the spear.
Yeah, the very different superstars, I guess you would say. Like, Victor is taking up that role on the other side, and then Ye is more just roaming, looking to try and catch you out as you get aggressive. This round, though, he's still going to have the rifle. Now, I assume that Ye's plan will just be to try and find a kill, and damn, this is aggressive from OpTic on the other side of the map, pushing all the way through. It almost goes their way, but Loud will be able to stabilize. All 3 players gone. Ye again left on the other side of the map, but a single kill could turn this back.
This game has been neck and neck the whole way. This round could leave OpTic with very little. So many of their players low on cash. Now Ye's going to have his ult next round, but he needs this clutch. Problem is, Orbital Strike, Viper's Pit, and a 1v3. Late rotation out of Pancada. He's got the spike. If he goes down here, this could be bad. The damage, though, it's huge. 48 HP left on Ye. Finesse on the B side. He's completely out of this for now. Has to be Ye to try and do something, and he's caught.
Last player standing.
Yeah, Finesse was taking his time to go and get a gun on the other side of the map. Had to make sure that he wasn't just facing into a lurker. And we saw him get a 4K earlier. This one would be so much more important, but Les doesn't even give him an opportunity. 10 rounds on the board. Bear in mind that it has been a streak of, what, at least 6 wins in a row for OpTic on this map. They are now 3 rounds away from a deficit, and I am not surprised that they have taken a pause here.
No, this is definitely a moment to go back to the drawing board. You know, they've tried many different things, even in this round. The tempered aggression, it's not even that, just all-out aggression. 3 players swinging B long, looking for the duels, and all in the chaos, Loud came ahead. That seems to be how things have been going. Their defense was really just a staple of hookah control, but here they're showing so much more flexibility to work with. 3 rounds ahead, and OpTic of no cash.
Oh, it's a nothing fact. I'm sorry.
Boaster, do you want to cast? Do you want to come up? Please, help. Sideshow could swing through. They won't even notice the difference.
That's true.
They'll have to like
We
kneel.
are the same person. I just run to the desk. You know? That's what I do. I just work harder than you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Listen.
The thing is, this round is going to be important not only because you will still have a weaker purchase for OpTic as they attempt to try and get something done, but Tour de Force, Showstopper, Seekers, the other 2 ults not too far away, and some big ults on the other side as well in the form of the Viper's Pit, Orbital Strike. Like, there is so much to play with in this round that even though the weaponry for OpTic is weak, there is still a huge amount of potential that they could steal this one away. Ye alone is enough that there's potential they could steal this away.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think in Ye's position, but he hasn't invested at all, so I'm assuming he's not keeping that ulti. He's gonna be popped out here to try bridge the gap. And you've heard it there. They are so dead. Well, if they step into Ye's sight lines, they sure will be. Look at how cautious Loud are being, though. We've seen that in the previous round. 3 players were swinging out on B long, looking for those duels. This time, Pancada is basically in their spawn, jump spotting it. He won't even be caught by the flash.
On the other side of the map, though, Sadak has just walked through showers. So they have the information of where he's going to be. The main spots you're going to have are on the extremities, although he's going chasing all the way down towards their spawn. And then they've got the cheaper weaponry just hiding within the smoke. None of the bullets currently connecting, but they have been spotted. And eventually the spray comes through. Marv still does well to get 1 and a dink onto a second. And while Finesse, he's so close to taking a kill away, but they're just getting wiped out.
Yeah, look at the HP. 2 on Sassy, 29 on Pancada. If these fights go their way, maybe there's even 2 more players alive on OpTic right now. They could have the advantage. Instead, it's Ye left to do it all, and with the weapon in his hands, he's not even gonna... Okay, not gonna take advantage of low HP players, I say. But he's just walked out, taking down 2 to the headhunter. But he's gone. He's dealt with. It was looking possible, and when it's Ye in these spots, it always does. But at the end of the day, Loud push up to 11, and now OpTic have their buy round. It's now or never.
How confident have you got to be in your headhunter that he could have just killed that second guy with the Tour de Force, but he's like, I'm gonna go for the style points. Like,
he did see him get healed, right? But even still, you saw him get healed. You know, body shot's not gonna take him down. You need the headshot or 2 bodies.
It's just mad.
1 shot, just 1 click. He's like, yep, that is the headshot, and I will now look at the next guy. This is a round OpTic need. They have ultis. They've got their economy fully put on the board. If they lose this, Loud guaranteed an OT with 5 chances to close. That just cannot happen.
They could get all 5 ults online for Loud in one of the most crucial rounds. I don't even think I saw a pixel there. Just a slight jump spot is enough for Les to go down. He's been one of the best performers so far for Loud, and finally an opening duel going in the favor, but it's so quickly traded out. On either side of the map, they're able to get a couple of kills, and now Crashy's looking to fight alongside them within hookah.
He's left to 19, pops the Seekers, the panic in full effect. They both control now taken. As you can see, Victor following the Seekers down, and somehow that didn't get him. Luckily, he will follow back through and leave Sadak alone. The 1v3, unlikely. It's being watched by Ye, and even blind, he'll hit that shot. A much needed round for OpTic connected. The game's back on.
That was so scrappy. We saw both sets of Seekers thrown out. We saw a showstopper that, like, maybe it did a bit of damage, but genuinely looked like it did 0, which, you know, take that as you will.
That is insane.
Can we slow that down? I want to see what he connects. Like, it's just ridiculous, the shots that Ye is able to hit, even in the games that aren't necessarily going their way. Still though, Mitch, 4 ults here, a perfect buy up as well for Loud. It's not going to get any easier.
No, it definitely isn't. And we've seen this ult used over on Loud's side previously. OpTic will do the same, taking control of Belong, holding it, and looking elsewhere. You would imagine Loud will be trying to grab some control to counter that, right? This is free information, free map control for OpTic, but for now they are pumping the brakes. I'm not sure what this signals on their side. They're expecting a push perhaps, but with 1:12 left on the clock, we're starting to see the gravitation to B. Hookah control is being conceded completely. It wasn't somewhere OpTic really wanted to fight for much on the attack. Makes sense, it's not somewhere they defend all that much either.
Well, the thing is they've got Ye watching it at distance with an operator. Not going to be an easy kill. He switches to the headhunter, and this time, well, it's not instantaneous. The thing is they've thrown out that Nightfall, and they got nothing. They just got delayed through Hookah enough that ult basically just found the tag. Okay, sure, it got rid of the Viper's Pit, but that wasn't worth the trade.
And this has allowed OpTic to reset completely, even healing Ye up, getting him on an angle. They had an orb up to block any sort of a peek coming out of Hookah, so he was free to hold long the entire time. And looking over at this site, getting onto it doesn't seem difficult. Getting the spike planted will be 20 seconds left on the clock. Orbital strike online for Marv, the nade coming through from Victor. They are denied the control for now, and as they step back in, you can see the ulti in hand. It's going down from above! Marv has taken the kills, and with that, probably the round. They need a plant right now, and it will be denied. 4 seconds as they fall. Crashies closing the round, and OpTic are hot on Loud's heels.
That was just fantastic ult usage all the way through the round from OpTic. Like, that setup, I don't think you could have got much better. You had the Viper's Pit almost baiting them into pushing into Ye. Man's not going to miss the shot. And then on the other side of things, you were just ready to plant deny. Even if it was earlier in the round, you still bought enough time for that rotation to come all the way back through and have those separate peaks with the denial utility. That was an expert round from OpTic, and we are starting to see those ultimates diminish. Like, that was a showstopper and a Nightfall used in that previous round, which ultimately garnered Loud nothing.
And now look what they're working with. Next to nothing on the attack. Victor up top here. He's in a little bit of danger. Nade's going to be deployed. The Prowler hitting him and everything. Marv turning at the wrong moment. That's crucial control removed. A weapon upgrade and a sight in Loud's hands. They've got a Viper's Pit, Tom. They can put this down, and the round all of a sudden starts to look favored towards them. They're healing up as well. But no, this Viper's Pit is not on the site. It's in their spawn. Loud are looking to take the fight to OpTic or force them to waterfall out of heaven, which is often to certain death. But for now, no one's watching it.
The thing is, though, is to play from distance is not going to be particularly easy for the remaining players. They can get towards that spike, almost wrapping around the Viper's Pit. So this really could be problematic for Loud, that they might almost have to start playing out of it in a matter of seconds. The orbital strike is going to buy them that time. They expected this to happen, but the trades are coming through once again. I think they even have the Seekers one more time as they start to win every single battle. It's left onto Pancada. He has delayed them a little bit. The shot connected eventually, and I think the time is gone. He might have just done it off of that alone. Loud will delay just enough, and OpTic just couldn't get on the spike.
What a ludicrous round. That is not one that you will have planned for. You won't have seen that in Prax. I mean, that was madness, pure chaos harnessed by Loud to get onto the site. To find, like, even the distraction play around middle as the duel was coming in, that's when you have the swing coming through. As Pancada takes the fight, takes the control. Gorgeous work. 3 chances now for Loud to close out a map that even the best in the world have failed to do up against OpTic.
It's not a death sentence, but it is a statement. To come in, to bind a map that even in the past they haven't been able to beat them on, and look to take the lead in the series that could send them to the grand final. Still, the weaponry, not the best for Loud. It's still a better purchase for OpTic just because of the cost of the previous. And 3 rounds in a row for OpTic, well, we've seen them do it a million times.
We have. No, it's certainly not over. And with an initial tag, taking Sadik. He's at 14 HP. He can't get healed. No one on this team can help him out. Now he's pure support. One flash to work with. Trailblazer already used dedicated spike carrier. That's his role from now on. 50 seconds on the clock. They're looking for B. And look at OpTic's setup. I mean, it is gorgeous. They've got a wall. They've got a Sky to flash through that wall. Potential retake coming in from Victor, who still has his nade online. And then we mentioned Ye, who we saw at the start of the round holding this angle. He hasn't moved ever since.
It seems like they're almost waiting for them to make this move. It looks like a trap, and Sadak, he's so desperately low. He's going to go down straight away. The orb sections the remaining players apart, and the spike is down on the site. 20 seconds left. You might even just have to hold on to the weapons, especially now. Pancada on just 3 HP. There's nothing that Loud can do in this round. Again, they've waltzed into the trap that OpTic has set, and double digits will be held.
Well, Victor may be a Chad, but he was looking like a beta raise right there. 2 nades thrown in 5 seconds. This guy was just lobbing them out. Nothing Loud can do, diving through a Viper's orb, into a nade, into bullets, into another nade. Round was done before it even got started. A great response from OpTic. And they didn't even need Ye. You know, he was an alarm bot, essentially a Cypher cam for that round. And, well, he's been so much more the rest of the time. Now the crowd getting behind OpTic, the chance coming through for them to push us to an OT. 2 more rounds, and look at Loud. They're putting it all on the board here. All their investment will come down to this, and that's why they call a timeout. You do not want to just blaze into this round and end up throwing away your chance to close it.
Yeah, the funny thing is with the weaponry bought by Aspas, I think that is exactly what he's going to do. Blaze into the round, try and take as much space as humanly possible. Unfortunately for them, it's not even like they can, okay, let's work the orbs, get ourselves a certain ult online that might give us some extra space. So, there are actually no ults online throughout the entirety of the server at the moment. And to try and clear out some of these positions is going to be difficult. Now, one of the ways they managed to really punish Marved in one of the earlier rounds was that Sadak got past his Molotov. That was the only reason that he sort of caught him out in towards showers a couple of rounds ago. I think that's something that's going to be quite a bit more difficult this time. So maybe they're just going to go for that aggressive pressure instead, try and force him out of position. That takes away a lot of the delay utility, especially when it comes to this A site. The thing is, though, it seems like OpTic have a pretty decent read that in lower economy rounds, in weaker rounds, a lot of the time you're going to want to try and pressure into this A site because a lot more favorable angles, a lot more space to take.
That's what we've seen so far. Now, as we come out of this timeout, take a look at where Loud are standing. I mean, there's only going to be a couple seconds on the clock. I don't imagine they'll be rotating all the way around, and I'm seeing Blast Pack in, flash from the sky. There it is. It's on its way. It's popping. And with the Blast Pack, Aspis is already up close. Now the molly goes down. The control is theirs. They can grab an orb, but that is the trade that OpTic are willing to make. You can have your control in your orb. We'll keep on ranged fights.
Well, that's the thing as well. OpTic already have hookah control and deep B long control. So they're not going to be rotating anybody off any of their angles on the A site until it is ultimately pressured, and that's going to be Pancada's job. If he kills Finesse, there's a pretty decent chance that OpTic's setup completely falls apart. Instead, though, they're taking their time, just hoping that someone on the other side of things over-aggresses, and at the moment, with this double stack into mid, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, very disciplined play from OpTic. They know where their point of contact is, and outside of that, everyone else is spotting their angle, holding for extra information, but ultimately waiting for these guys on mid to get the fight, and it looks like it's coming their way. 40 seconds on the clock. No ultis for Loud, but still a flash to play with here for Sadak. They'll assume there's a player holding this angle, whether they decide to fully commit. There's the flash. Okay, they've seen him up top. He turns! I thought that was on. I thought it was a kill. It was damn close. Still Loud. Get to take a few steps closer. They've lost a player, and then they've recovered. What are those fights for Sadak with a double kill? OpTic are now having to play
Oh! It's almost a couple of kills coming through, but they just wipe out the remaining players. A faster play in towards that mid push, and